We on. We are on, y'all. Let's do it. Let us do it. Ooh. Hello, hello. Good evening. You are joining me here on a dissect. That's very 90s radio. You're joining me here. Another night, quiet storm. Let me lower my damn seat, child. I feel. There we go. It was so weird. I was so tall. Welcome. I am your host, JustLatasha, and we are here for another dissection. A dissection is a deep dive into film and TV. And of course, bring your feelings. Bring your feelings, especially with an episode like last night. Baby. Especially with an episode like last night. But let's not move forward yet. We have a lot to discuss. I'm so happy that you guys are here. This means you're here on the live stream. That means you are a patron. You have joined patreon.com/JustLatasha to access this live show. So let's see who's here. Kenya Benia, first comment. What's up? Thank you guys so much for putting hearts in the chat. Hi, Nia. How are you? CJ's here, OG. Leslie's here, OG. Jordan's here, OG. Benia was an OG as well. I see y'all ready. Y'all ready. What's up, Tadeo? What's up, Deidre? What's up, Celeste? Let's see. Since this episode dealt with some heavy stuff, I hope y'all took care after it. And also, I don't know if anyone here suffers from addiction or have addicts in their family, but I hope you are well. What a beautiful thing to say. And let's start there because there's these takes specifically from the DARE program. Do y'all remember the DARE program? Y'all might be a bit younger than me. But the DARE program was hot in the 90s trying to get the kids off drugs. It didn't work, but they did the best that they could, you know? What we said when we grew up was, okay, not meth or heroin. Like that's the decision that we made. You know what I mean? But they tried their best. But DARE program came out and was like, Euphoria is glorifying drug use. And I'm like, after episode 5, baby, we don't even want to have kids. We're looking at trying to start a family. It's giving too much. It's a bit too much. Drugs. Hi, you guys. Welcome to the room. Now she's one Emmy down. Miss Mama is going for the EGOTs, the Grammy, the Oscar, the Tony. She said episode 5, hold me down. And now you guys know we are on the other side of what Euphoria has been setting up for the first half of season 2. Where the first half of season 2, we were really looking into the lies, the masks, the pretending, right? And now, after Cal's outburst, episode 4, we have turned the tides, thrusting our characters into their truths. All truth bombs are dropped. Now they got to deal with this mess that they made. They have to deal with it. Oh, you was running for so long. You was running for so long, going nowhere, bringing me to the title of the episode, Sunday Night's Euphoria, episode 5, Stand Still Like the Hummingbird. You guys ever heard of the word toiling? You guys ever heard of the word toiling? Toiling is when you busy without doing nothing. I first came across the word in the Bible, where a fisherman was out at sea and he was trying to cast the net and catch fish all night. Cast the net, catch fish, cast the net. And he's up all night, waves crashing, bow. He's outside. Gotta get me fish. Net coming up empty over and over and over again. And Jesus Christ comes down and says, what are you doing? You're toiling. What does that mean? Works without faith is dead. You busy and doing nothing. You want to believe in me right quick? I guess you appeared out of nowhere and the clouds floating on water and shit. Yeah, get me some fish. I believe in God. Done. Net was full. Fish galore. Went home, was the king of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like you standing still like a hummingbird, the hummingbird moving so fast and going nowhere. So where are these characters doing all this toiling to get where? Okay. Jesus said streets is done. I love to imagine Christ like a gangster just walking through like, niggas need bread. Oh, it's no licks up in here. Wine. But like I'm partying with Christ. Like I'm partying with Christ. I don't know what was we supposed to do. So and so I think about how hard Rue is trying to balance loving Jules and loving drugs and doing all that work to hide it and keep it up under wraps, but it comes out, right? And so now she did all that work to come up with nothing as we watch her destroy everything in sight. So before we dive in, let's go over the color theory because, each week there are new visitors. If you are here on Thursday and beyond for the rewatch, welcome to the channel. Please subscribe. Please hit that thumbs up. Let's do some color theory. So in this season of Euphoria, because, they stepped it out from season 1 completely, when we see yellow, that's really where the characters are the most honest and truthful in their identities. When we see blue, they are wearing that mask. They are pretending, they are lying about something. When we see green, it's a little blend of both. Where are they lying? Where are they telling the truth? They give a little, take a little, And of course, there's this really heavy religious theme this season. So we're looking at the colors black, which means hell, white, which means heaven. Where are the characters chasing the euphoria? Where are they destroying everything in sight? And last but not least, you have red, which can mean love, softness, passion, or it can mean danger, caution, stop, wounds, pain. So we'll have those conversations comparing the visuals of the show with the layering of the story. And that, ladies, gentlemen, and babies, is a dissection. So excited. Yeah, let's get started. So obviously that opening scene was everything. To be honest with y'all, I was low-key relieved that the second half of the show went to the running and we just enjoyed the moment. I was like, oh, they took a load off my plate for tomorrow. So let's spend a lot of time in that opening scene because it was so loaded. It was loaded. And the first image of this sequence, I want you to know I'm not angry with you. I love you. I know you're doing drugs again. And to see Gia so silently just kind of overhear this conversation mirrors how Rue's father was speaking to her in the last episode 4, right? When she's having this spiritual dance with him and she's at the peak of a high. And now she's questioning if she's a good person, if she's questioning if she messed everything up. And her father says in this sort of Christ-like way, I love you. You're okay. You're good enough. I'm not angry with you. You're a good person. Very sort of paralleling what Christ would say to his sinners, right? I forgive you for your sins. I love you. And so when you're hearing Rue's mother and you're seeing Rue's sister, you're really getting that sense of this unconditional love extended to her by her family, this unconditional love. I was pondering if we're in a brown room for a reason. I mean, I imagine we are. And if we are, that would be the combination of yellow, the truth, plus red, some pain. So imagining that now that we understand that Rue has been taking pills, she has been taking pills, she's doing much more than weed. The truth is coming out. All of this is as painful as it can be. I also want to go down the levels of gaslighting because y'all, I've done my fair share of reading about it. I've done my fair share of listening to therapists who speak out about it and really getting the information. And the more information I come across, the more I'm like, oh, Rue. Now, it's interesting to see it from a young girl using it with her family. And it's not in this romantic sense. Like we usually see this happening between heterosexual relationships and women being groomed and manipulated under the patriarchy and coming under what men understand as love, which is usually narcissism, abuse, manipulation, and gaslighting. But watching the levels of gaslighting Rue does with her family, I really want to pay attention to that, because obviously that very first emotion she tried to use to get her family from sniffing away from the truth that she's finally back on drugs again is anger. Using anger to intimidate Gia into the role she needs her to be, right? You told mom, I'm using drugs again, and I need everybody to just go back to where you were so I can do what I want to do in the dark. And she's created these roles for her mother and her sister in her own delusion, right? Everybody's mad because I'm smoking a little bit of weed. Mama survey says that was a lie. and we all know it. You're acting weird. We all know it. And if y'all are mad because I'm just smoking a little bit of weed, y'all are the ones that's crazy, because weed is fine. Y'all are the ones that's crazy for thinking it's more than weed. And y'all are the ones that's crazy for even being upset at this. What, weed? You mad? You still mad about that? Raise your hand if you heard that before. You still on that? You still mad about that? And if y'all are upset with me, then y'all are the ones that, right? And she shifts from anger into this guilt trip. Oh, weed is for my panic attacks. You want to take that from me? Like, knowing everything I've been through, like, you know, everything I'm up against and what my issues are. Like, you want to take that from me? That guilt trip. You want to drug test me? Fine. You, AKA, oh, you don't trust me? So yeah. So then you're the bad guy. Calling that bluff, right? And one that was really scary and hurtful was, luckily you guys did this intervention. I was like a month away from killing myself. Knowing that your family is fighting tooth and nail to keep you here and keep you alive. You're going to dangle your own death in front of your family's face when they've already suffered a death. You ain't the only one that's been through this, Rue. Are you all right? You are not the only one that's grieving. And you haven't stopped for a second to consider that. So after the anger and after the guilt trip, she tries one last card, which is sympathy, the crying, the accountability, the apology. It's not my suitcase. This is bad, as if you don't fix this problem, you are going to get me in trouble, when, Rue, this was your trouble to begin with. But if I can guilt my mama so bad that she'll fold and give me the drugs that I'm asking for, maybe it'll work. And in episode 4, we heard a lot of the repetitive phrase, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I'm feeling like episode 5, it's turned into the I'm sorry. Rue said I'm sorry a million times in this episode. And just like the way I love you was offered in episode 4, this I'm sorry in episode 5 holds the same amount of weight, nothing. Like, you're offering these beautiful, heavy, intentional words for all of the wrong reasons. It's empty. It means nothing. Let me jump in the chat and see what y'all talking about. Khaled says, addicts will say every damn thing to see which manipulative methods work, but good thing no one around her was letting up. Hello? No, like nobody was giving that up, okay? Is it bad I don't care about her dead dad excuse anymore? Cleve! Oh my God! Brianna says this is an example of expert writing because Sam preemptively told us what Rue was going to do in episode 3, so it completely changes the way we would normally look at the scene. We have less sympathy for her. Now, I'm going to just say it. There's a lot of takes happening on Twitter about how this season is trash and there's no story and nothing's happening and it's like a fever dream and, oh, you lucky you just had you lucky you just giving us cinema. And I'm like, what are y'all watching? Maybe I need a dissection because what are y'all watching? That is absolutely true. You've clued us into her tactics. So when we see it and we're under her narrative, we're like, she lying. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. The Black mother came all the way through with this episode. Leslie. Should we talk about Leslie? Let's talk about Leslie. Yeah, let's talk about Leslie. Let's see what we got. Dad's dead. You're a shitty mother. Dad's dead. You're a shitty mother. I don't know how she did it. You've got to love somebody to the gristle of the bone. I don't know how she did it. The salvation from the audience, from the family, from anyone who understands about addiction is that Rue is a zombie to her craving. She's not alive. She's driven by that hunger, that insatiable hunger for that euphoria that the drugs give her. And if she can piss her mother off so bad that her mother would finally tell her where the drugs are, she wins, and she's willing to sacrifice love. She's willing to sacrifice love. I choose you hating me if you tell me where that suitcase is. Ooh. And then the line, you wish I was different, so do I. Really ringing that bell from season 1, where she softly asked to Jules in vulnerability, in fear. She was so terrified to say, I love you and I want to be with you. Do you wish I were different? Right before Jules ran away. AKA, do you love me? And this is all depressed people are trying to ask. And she is an addict. We got that covered, but she is depressed because she had such a major loss that rocked her world upside down. And so, in this really illogical way, depression doesn't make sense. And when you have someone depressed that you're trying to deal with, you can't compare it to logic and what they should be doing. That's not where they are, right? In this really illogical way, depressed people will keep pushing your boundaries to see where the love will stop. It's almost like they want to know that answer. What can I do to make you stop loving me? In the way that their mind is telling them, you don't. You don't love me. You don't care about me, right? And I'll be jumping around a little bit between the moments of the episode because I want to tie up themes together. They want to see what point they could hit where you would stop loving them. She even says to Jules, I have a ton of regrets, y'all. She says to Jules, I have a ton of regrets. Meeting you is at the top of my fucking list. When Jules was everything, it was drugs and Jules. Jules was everything you wanted. As a matter of fact, she was at the top of your list, but for what you wanted so bad, not your list of regrets. But Rue was trying to find it. She's trying to find that line. And as she's screaming to Leslie, you hate me? So do I. That's something that feels true, but isn't. And she's really asking through all this chaos, do you love me? And luckily for Rue, they do. Her mother, her sister, and Jules still love her through all of this. Through all of this. Like, I don't know how Rue mom did all that. Like, I wouldn't have been able to take all the things she was saying. And it's almost like I sort of almost asked as well, like, when Rue was going on these monologues, like, why isn't her mother saying anything or reacting, especially when she's going in on Jules? Her mother's just kind of playing in the background. I'm like, Mama, jump in. But when something like that is happening, like in the moment, I think you are just frozen stiff because you're like, you're looking at your child be a full monster, and fighting don't work, loving don't work, talking don't work, hitting doesn't work. She tried it. Nothing will shake that demon, that monster, that demon, that hell out of your baby child. Nothing will get it out. Woo! I don't know how Rue got away with saying all that and destroying a door. Forget slamming a door. She kicked it in. Oh, her mom was crying, saying, "You don't scare me." Woo! Woo! This many drugs, and not one person thinks about where they came from before they destroy them. Oh, you're using street smarts. Oh, you're using street smarts. Oh, we're gonna get to the street. We are definitely going to get to the street. Trust and believe. But hey, Lord, you know I'm tired. Hey, Lord, you know I'm tired. I, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So I thought, when the two women were looking at each other here, how white all that light is hitting mom, representing that heaven, that salvation, versus Rue, who is absolutely in her own hell, right? And she had that really small light right at the tail end of this clip, this really small fading light right behind Rue, as if she's going further and further and further away. She's in her hell. A hell that she created for herself, but she's in her hell as she's heading into these withdrawal symptoms. And so something that personally shook me was her mother confirming her deepest fear, confirming Rue's deepest fear. You're not a good person, Rue. Your father just told you was in the last episode. Episodes for us, not episodes for them. Your father just told you it's okay. You are a good person. Don't say that. And your mother here in this reality is telling you, mm-mm. Mm-mm, mm-mm. And it's so funny because this is the same fear that Cassie has, right? Am I a good person? And she's battling that. So in asking whether or not, or pondering whether or not Rue is a good person, there's this really uncanny way that depressed people act out and curate the fear that they have. If you fear that you are unloved and are uncared for, you begin to sabotage your relationships to test that. So it's kind of like this chicken or the egg. Did my depression make you stop loving me, or did you stop loving me and I become depressed? And then am I trying to find out, are you still lying to me? Do I have to find out and push that boundary? And it's relentless. It is relentless. So then when we came right about here, what did you do with the drugs? We flushed them down the toilet. Face cracked. Face cracked. We thought we was having a private family moment and Jules was in the background. Now, I thought this was very intentional. The way we opened up with Gia and we heard voiceovers in the back. The way we see Rue and we hear voiceovers overlaying her. Jules feels similar to the way Rue's father kind of had that overlaying Christ-like voiceover in the last episode, right? Sort of like this omnipresence. I've been here with you the whole time. I love you. I seen the whole thing. Even you at your worst, I love you. So somebody was saying on Twitter, I wonder if they actually did Flush the drugs down. I had the same question because we heard that line when Rue was in a blue room, that mask, that pretending, that lie. And I asked, did Jules actually flush them? It was a lot of drugs. It was a suitcase full of drugs. Not nobody's suburban town ass toilet can handle all that. Or is Rue's mask to Jules finally cracked and shattered? Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Let's see. Did all that carrying on? Hello? Not gonna lie, it was a little bit of truth in talking to Jules. Yeah. Yeah. It happens. It happens. This isn't Rue's first intervention. They tried with all their might. And they used Jesus. They tried with all their might. But if at first you don't succeed, pray some more, because it's going to take the jaws of God to get that off Rue's spirit. I swear. I feel Jules deserves some of what Rue was throwing at her. I'm mad at her for her shenanigans with Elliott. Let's put a pin in it. Let's put a pin in it. And she said, oh, you embarrassed now. Hello? You thought she was doing all that carrying on in secret. Now your girl is outside. What up? I've been in that situation. The mom is in survival mode and still focusing on the main goal, which is getting Rue to submit and go in the car and get to the hospital. So, okay, yes, because we've seen in several instances where Leslie is trying to avoid all distractions. We need to hyper focus on this girl right here, right now. I swear my heart sunk when Jules said we flushed them down the toilet. Yeah, I get taking them away, but yeah, that's too much drugs to flush. I do want to get into the unnecessary hate that Jules gets. Like, she can't do anything right, according to some people, because we side with Rue, and I don't like it. I feel you. Now, Elliott didn't need to be there, but Jules is important because it cements that Jules is a part of her life more as more than just a kickback lover. I was so confused with Elliott. Let's talk about it. I'm so confused on this boy. And we are doing our color theme right here because, as you see, the two characters are split via color, the white representing heaven, the black representing hell. And of course, we have Elliott aligned with hell and Jules aligned with heaven. And I remember in episode 4, both of them were in these church pews where Rue was visiting her father in this spiritual plane, right? And I estimated that these two were Rue's ability to have a covering, have a mask on who she pretended to be as she maneuvered her reality. But then I got to thinking again, because we didn't know it was coming, where Jules was going to be the one to set Rue free, be Rue's salvation, because we remember when Elliott was at the cross and in his little F-boy manipulative scheme. So I'm trying to get both. I'm trying to see who land on what, exposing them like that set them free. So I wonder if he was just the conduit to get Jules to set Rue free. Because he's right. This isn't his place. You just got here. Okay? You're going to need one more season, baby. You're going to need another season. You just got here. You're right. Go wait outside. But was he a necessary evil? Which, if we're using this biblical Christian theology to have an overarching theme of this season, that's very much how God talks. Hello? Sometimes God will bring you to your hell, because maybe that'll drive you to your heaven. Where is your rock bottom? Where is your biggest mistake? Where is your biggest regret? So you can get yourself back to a healthy place. God talks to you like that? Hello? And so in this huge monologue, Rue says to Jules, you drain me. It's giving gaslighting, because we talked about this as well. Jules' version of this Frida Kahlo self-portrait where her lover is on her forehead connected to all of these tendons. Who is draining who? And the lover on the forehead is either draining or inspiring the portrait. So if Rue is telling Jules, you drain me, when you were the reason Jules had to leave you to New York to save herself. Rue says to Jules, you left me at my lowest. Jules had to. The pressure you put on her to be your utmost salvation from drugs. If you leave me, I'm going to go do drugs again. She's 17, 16 even. That's a lot. Draining. You want to have a conversation about draining? I hate this. You want to have a conversation about draining? There she is. Goddamn. I tried something different. Didn't like it. I also have a hot take. Here's going to be my first hot take of the night. I have several. Rue says to Jules, you don't love me. You love to be loved, which we all understand and agree. That's Cassie's shindig. Cassie's the one that loves to be loved. And I don't feel like that quite fits with Jules. Like, I get it was a clear in the drag, because if Rue's outed, then everybody's going to be outed. Very Cal. But I feel like Jules, it's not that Jules loves to be loved, because this is actually the first time that she's in an emotionally intimate relationship. Jules' wound is her abandonment from her mother because of her transness. So she really likes when her body and her femininity is like consumed and devoured and fucking like used. She loves that shit. That's why she a little hoe, proudly. And she loves these hookups because she loves the moments leading up to the hookups. It's not even about the sex. She loves that being desired. Her femininity, delicious. And because she's with Rue, she can suppress her desire for that sexual tension, that build up to the sex. She can suppress all that. And she loves Rue, who she isn't having sex with. So I feel like there's something here that feels a bit off for me with that. And I'm trying to like word it. I'm trying to like piece that together. But again, we have two people who two mass kissing. They don't know who each other is. They don't know who they are. They just here riding away. But I think there's a conversation here about what Rue understands Jules needs in this relationship and what Jules actually needs and isn't asking for. It did piss me off when Elliott had the nerve to say he liked Rue the way she was when he's the one who told Jules. What was he there for if he didn't agree with the intervention? I don't know what this boy is doing. And I would like to find out sooner than later. I would like to find out quickly, like what. Elliott said it last episode. There's a part of Jules that loves to be desired. And the gag is not just like, that's not the end. Her wound is abandonment. And all of these characters are trying to run away from it, but are inadvertently recreating it over and over again. They're all stuck. So Jules really participates in being hyper desired with her femininity and then thrown away. She never sees these people again. When she went to New York and hooked up with the hot black girl and came back, she was talking about, yeah, I'm in love. Baby, it was a Saturday night. Where and how are you in love? But that's what she understands it to be. That hyper intimacy or sexual tension, and then so You know what I mean? That's why I feel like Elliot manipulated her. He sowed those seeds of doubt in her mind that Rue might not desire her enough. And he was right. Do I have that picture from last week? I think I deleted it. I deleted it. But when Rue was high in her room dancing with her pillow, it wasn't about Jules. It was about the drugs. And if something else is here, that's cool. Their wounds clash, creating a very messy and complex dynamic. They each represent each other's lost parents. Now we're thinking with gas. Now we're thinking with gas. Jules needs to feel validated through desirability, and she wants to be wanted, and Rue wasn't wanting her at all. And then in this moment, Rue cuts it absolutely off. Whew. And the only thing that Rue worships is drugs, honey. I can't with y'all. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So after burning it all down, Rue admits the truth is here. I miss Dad. I miss him a lot in this really dark hallway, right? In this pit. She finally says to her mother, I miss Dad. I just miss him a lot. And then continues to drop all these truth bombs. I wasn't even sober right after rehab. I imagine myself dying on a beach. All these truth bombs until she runs for her life. Quite literally at a crossroads. What will Rue choose? Truth and healing or drugs in this lie? And as Rue is pushing forward, her body is literally pulling her back as her symptoms of withdrawal worsen. Quite literally running from daylight where people were here to save her and waking up in the darkness. Baby, this sums up the entire series, okay? How long can everyone run away from that wound? How long? And real quick, want to stop about this idea of the beach, right? This resting place. And she dreams of dying in a place where her father carried her at just 6 years old. But she also this is a place where he was alive and they were alive, and she can meet him again at the shore if she just closes her eyes. I just, with the bathtub and the hair washing, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Huh? What? That was beautiful. Okay, we're gonna move on. Next character. Let's talk about your girl Cassie. Oh man. Let's talk about your girl. First of all, Rue finds herself back in Cassie and Lexi's home. And before we even talk about that part, let's talk about how triggering that must have been specifically for Cassie and Lexi. Here's what I found today. Welcome to the dissection. Rue looks exactly like Cassie and Lexi's father. We met and saw the backstory of Cassie and Lexi's father in season 1, where over time he was this beautiful, hot husband and lost his way to the streets. He fell out of a job, he started selling drugs, and he started using drugs, and then he got into a car accident. Lexi and Cassie almost lost their dad in the way Rue lost her dad. But they lost him emotionally because he's still alive, but he's outside in the world somewhere instead. And he was coming home at night only hitting up Cassie to steal items from their home the way Rue is doing tonight in a drug-induced rage. Can we talk about how triggering that must have been for them two girls? And I'm like, nobody's saying nothing. Nobody. I'm wondering how Rue is not triggering Cassie and Lexi in a way that, like, I mean, I see that Lexi paid attention immediately as her mother was stalling Rue and took in her appearance and her behavior. The observer caught it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so focusing on Cassie, who, like Nate, is trying so hard to not become his father that he's becoming his father. Cassie resents her mother because she watched her father not choose her. And so this is why desirability, love to be loved, is Cassie's absolute euphoria, because it's that please choose me. Please choose me in the way my father did not choose my mom, in the way my father did not choose me or my sister. Please choose me and love me bad. Maybe I could be pretty enough to where you'll stay. Maybe. And of course, she lands and chooses Nate, who is choosing someone else. Okay. All right. So let's just get back into this scene. Cassie battling the idea, the fear. Am I a good person? And here she comes, little cutesy baby doll hoodie on, performing a good person. Yeah, Rue. One day at a time. And that little baby doll pink hoodie. So cute. Little doll baby, right? Little baby. Hey, Cassie, I have a quick question for you. How long you been fucking Nate Jacobs? Bow, bow. You're done. You're done. What happened, Cass, baby? I thought you was crazy. I think it was crazier than Maddie. What's up? Let's see it. Go off. You got the floor. Ain't nothing but space and opportunity, mama. Let's see you go crazy. Are you crying again? Are you crying? But what I really thought was interesting, that Maddie is wearing blue, the mask, the pretending, the lie, when she says, I'm literally going to get violent, and doesn't. Maddie just wants to talk. Maddie done hit a lot people for a lot less over the head. So I'm seeing a little best friend kick in. I'm seeing love here. I think Maddie really loves Cassie because she's mad, she's hurt, she's shocked, but she ain't hit you upon your head. Because had it been, I mean, anyone else, but it's Cassie, and she doesn't do it. I thought that was really interesting. And so I remember when Rue said to Jules during the intervention, you act like a sweet little angel who doesn't know what they're doing. You know what the fuck you're doing. This line definitely belongs to Cassie. Definitely belongs to Cassie. Her and Cal just straight demons. I think Lexi and them knew Rue was on the run from jump. Maddie hugging Rue was suspicious. Leslie definitely called Lexi's house first. I knew that they knew in the beginning as well. I thought Cassie's mom called right after she came down the steps and was like, she ain't okay. I thought the call was like, your daughter's here. That's how I imagined it happening. Cassie came through with the advice because she's dealing with addiction herself. Hello? Hello? Maddie was really hurt. That betrayal hit different. Man. Okay. Withdrawals from that D down to the paint and sip. What up? Cassie should have just kept that eat, pray, love advice to herself. Now look at you catching strays and licks. It's interesting that Cassie and Lexi were raised by people with addictive personalities. I think their personalities match that trauma very well. You have someone who is hyper reserved. You're so scared to make a move and be seen, to trigger something in the family. You've heard the arguments, you've seen the fallouts, you feel abandoned, you have that abandonment. You're watching your parents who are supposed to care for you be actively sick as you're growing up. Yeah. Versus someone who is, please love me, please do not perceive me, I don't exist. Sounds about right. Oh, that sounds about right. Yeah. 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 Are y'all ready? Oh yeah. Are y'all ready to end up at the last house? All right, y'all. Ruby Bennett, what a pleasure it is to see you. Rue finally ending up at Laurie's home. Stripes absolutely everywhere. Cages absolutely everywhere. You went from the daylight where people were trying to save you and woke up in the darkness where you might be entrapped. That's how you did your day, to chase that craving. You intentionally chose your hell, even though it could get as bad as it can get, and all of your fears has literally come true. You still chose hell. And I thought it was interesting because Cassie wore pink tonight, and so did Laurie, the bad guy, speaking softly, giving advice, being relatable, feeling safe, performing goodness. Here's my hot take. Now, I'm from East Elmhurst, Queens. I don't even know how I know this, but I do. So trust me. Because we were asking in the past few dissections why Laurie would even hand Rue, who's never sold anything in her life, $10,000 worth of drugs. Laurie's not stupid. She's of the block. Rue was not a risk. She was an investment. I could lose 10K off of you because what I know you're going to do and waste my money, I'm going to make way more if I could trap you into owing me, because you got to pay me back, right? I got to get that money back. This ain't no porn shop. Pawn shop. You're a woman. You got something everybody want. And she said it when we first met her. If you screw me over, I have you down to the sex trafficking quick. Laurie played the long game. And the thing about manipulators is that, I think I just made a connection in my head. The thing about manipulators is that they come in cunningly, charmingly, softly, so you can let down your guard and not see them coming when they stab you in the back. So now I'm thinking, Elliott has the apple on his face. Rue called Jules a snake, so now we have original sin, very biblical themes. And now we have Laurie appearing as the devil herself. A snake in the grass, in the tall grass. You got to find who your enemies are. But someone very devilish appearing as a friend, right? And this is a double win. Maybe Rue could move weight. That would be a nice surprise. Now you come back 15K up. That's not a loss. And if she can't, you're still going to get paid. There's actually no risk here. According to Laurie, there's actually no risk here. So she could have absolutely trapped Rue from the beginning, but this manipulation, this building, this trust, this conniving, cunning, devilish trap was very important. Because I have to make you confused in your trust versus disdain for me. I have to confuse you in that. So I'm your friend, but understand you owe me. I saved you, but you owe me. She has to get it into her mind that she's in debt to a friend. So it's sort of like that, the way some predators, when they want their meat to be tastier and juicier, they scare the prey first before they eat them. They don't just eat them right away. They want to make you scared, so all that adrenaline makes the meat real good, and then they eat you. Or it's like when you put a frog, they say when you put a frog in boiling water, it'll jump out. But if you put a frog in a pot and turn the fire on, it'll stay, choosing its own hell, choosing its own death. It's very, very slow death. It'll stay there. And so I was also thinking about, wait, before I even move on, I want to see what y'all saying. I felt physically sick when she said women always know how to make money. It's a shame, but she called Rue by her full name, implying that I knew you already. That she steps ahead. So the fact that we're not even addressing whether or not Fez killed Mouse, I fully believe Laurie already knows. And it's going to be bad. Like, all of this is going to be real bad. And so when I see people like, oh, like there's no story, nothing's happening, I'm like, it's quiet. It's this conflict is quiet because he's bubbling up and building. Stuff is moving without us seeing. I think. I'm just a guy on YouTube. I don't fucking, you know what I mean? Like, fuck. The way Laurie said, when I met you, I knew you'd be in my life for a long time. Fez was trying to do two birds in one stone, and it turned bad because he was just supposed to pull up to the party. Rue got to wait outside. You left her outside with a weird person shooting up in the back seat in a sketchy neighborhood. Y'all got to make better decisions, like all around. All around. Yeah. Yeah, and I think about how Laurie is only surrounded by men. I think she is fully just using women to make, like, your money, your investment. I'm selling women off. The men are her protection. The men are her business partners. She's not around any other women. I think she let her escape for some reason. Y'all putting ideas in my head now because, all right, she already knows the full name. Maybe she wants to know the address. Maybe she wants to get eyes on the family. What does your mother look like? What does your sister look like? Where do you hang out? Who are your friends? Because if you don't come to me, I'm going to hurt somebody in your circle. I hate this. Maybe Rue should have just went to the beach. I'm sorry because all this. I'm rooting for Rue. We were all rooting for Rue. How dare you? That white bird felt like Rue's conscience in the moment of her trying to escape to me. It was as if she was trying to warn her, even though it seemed like it was an alarm. Absolutely. Because when Laurie is helping her take a bath, when Rue says, I want to die on the beach, and Laurie helps her into a bath. Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about it. In Rue running away from her mother, her salvation, her heaven, Rue gets a mother figure in the form of this hell and this entrapment. And of course, we're looking at Laurie and Rue through a mirror, meaning things ain't always as they appear. Reflections, oppositions, masks, lies, right? And that lie is through a mirror, even though it's under yellow light where they're supposed to be telling the truth. Rue is telling the truth. I want to die. I just want to die. Help me. Laurie's lying. And I'm looking here at this blue TV, blue representing the masks, the lies, the presentations of self. This man signing a contract. Under a white light, salvation. In front of a black cat, usually representative of bad luck. Baby Rue, I think you just signed a 360 deal. I think you just signed to Bad Boy Records. I think you just signed to Death Row, mama. You just signed your life away by accepting Laurie's help, by asking her to save you. Say it. She signed her life away. She signed her life away. Noticed a few frames focusing on the white bird, and earlier the camera stayed on the lone white chicken that was left as she was running through the houses. Focusing on the white bird, and the camera stayed on the white chicken. She was running through the houses. I gotta pay attention to the birds because that possibly does have meaning too, but I was thinking of so much that I'm sure I missed that part. But I definitely want to hear more if you have more. Oh, perfect. You're right here. I was like, wait, I didn't look that up. Looked up that white birds symbolize light and vitality coming our way, hope for the future. Very nice, Elaine. Because it's getting dark for you, girl. Now we do know we're getting to season 3, so something's gonna happen. She don't want to be saved. Don't save her. But hopefully Rue is here for season. She gotta be. I mean, after a stunning performance like this, how could you not include her? But like, it's something. It's something. And Mouse was a result of these people, so he wanted Rue too. Let's ask the final question of the night. Yeah, watching her try to get out this house, y'all, like I couldn't. Let's ask the final question of the night. Are drugs still Rue's euphoria? After everything she's been through just today. And we have, as we've seen since the beginning, these visuals of the light quite literally fading, getting further and further away from Rue during her withdrawal, right? And even when Laurie was originally speaking to Rue, she told her that her body will create these dead spots where her brain used to produce its own happiness. So the way Rue is abusing these drugs, constantly chasing this euphoria and creating an artificial plant in her brain, killing her body's own ability to do so, which is fueling this addiction because she needs to get to that happy place to go see her dad. And in chasing being with her father during these highs, and at the same time attempting to run from the wound of his death. And that darkness is catching up to her anyway. So what would have happened if you just would have dealt with those bad feelings you was running away from? What would have happened when all you had to do was feel it? The way Gia was brave enough to, the way your mother was brave enough to, the way Lexi and Cassie were brave enough to just feel those bad feelings. And I think it was really clever for Euphoria to make their slogan of this season, remember this feeling. Because Rue is fighting with all her might to not. They pop up anyway. And Laurie says, the things that don't feel good don't feel as bad anymore. Over time, they don't even feel that bad anymore. So Rue is essentially keeping herself stuck by running away from the darkness that's catching her anyway. Hot take prediction. And I put this on Twitter, and I don't want to say it, but I did say it last week too in my prediction. Because there's payment coming. Laurie is owed. There's a debt. And Laurie's property, RUE, just ran out. Laurie's going to get paid. And so here's my hot take, and here's my prediction that I hope I'm wrong. Because in RUE's high with Laurie, a place where RUE can visit her father, she specifically went to a place where RUE and her father were welcoming Gia into the world. A place where she almost dies to go visit her dead father is where Gia was being born. And so we're talking about mirrors, and we're talking about reflections, and we're talking about masks. I'm wondering who actually is going to be paying this debt. And it chills me because Leslie asked RUE in the beginning, "Are you doing drugs with Gia?" And so the fact that a memory of Gia appears when RUE is almost dying in Laurie's bathtub to go meet her dad, are you doing drugs with Gia? Who was going to pay? And if we're going in themes of full circles where someone is trying to hold RUE accountable, but we saw someone else in her place, did we end up where we began? I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong. I don't. So, if it ain't Laurie, we're going to be crying as a family. If Laurie is not going down herself, we're going to be crying as a family. I'm sorry. I don't. RUE talked about her comparison with Gia too in the argument. I'm so bad. You're so good. Maybe you'll be mama's salvation. Maybe you'll be what I just, in the final shot, we don't know who came into Leslie's home. We have a guess that it might be Laurie at the door. We're going to just be crying as a family because somebody has to pay her back. Still like a hummingbird. Hummingbirds aren't still, and at the same time, they move so fast, they look like they aren't moving. Doing all that toiling and getting nothing done. All that to get nothing done. Her dad said she'll always be your sister. RUE was also like, can I have her? That's mirroring the lines he said in episode 4. I'll always be with you. Just close your eyes. I'm always with you. Then Euphoria tweets, she'll be your sister forever. Because nothing in this episode really even happened between RUE and Gia. They yelled at each other and they split for the entire episode. So the fact that we're wrapping up with Gia, we even opening with Gia, I'm just scared. I want to be wrong. I really thought that was Gia's funeral in the flashback because those scenes were back to back, scared me. I'm wondering how Gia is even dealing with the death of the father because she was so much younger than RUE, and there might be not as many memories or things like that. She wasn't as developed, but she wasn't at the funeral or wasn't seen. But Lexi was there. Lexi was at the funeral, which the way RUE throws Lexi away when Lexi was there at your lowest, which you said you valued. And you keep just popping up on her like she's some side character. She was at your dad's funeral in your home, and you treat her like that. I will fight Sam Levinson myself. He ain't taking my baby. So I don't know, y'all. What if it's her mom? I feel like this will kill her over time, and the price paid will be sacrificial. What if it's her mom? Whose mom? Say it again. Say that again. I remember you already hinted at the possibility before. A lot of the time, everyone else around those inflicting harm pay for it. I hope you're wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Because that would be dark, but it happens. And Sam Levinson is not afraid to go there. So I thank you all for being here. We completed another dissection. I'm here every Monday evening, 6 p.m. EST for the full Euphoria season. If you are not a patron, you can catch the rewatch on Thursdays when I release the video to the general public. Please subscribe to my channel. Please become a patron. $5 to access the show and more tiers to access cool things. Look, y'all be signing up for the VIP patrons and then don't be coming on the show. So, I mean, it's cool. I like it. I like getting supported financially. I love it. It's my favorite. But I be wondering where y'all at, okay? And I don't mind hosting 2 shows alone. I could do this with my eyes closed, okay? Y'all ain't saying nothing but a word. Like Leslie said, I ain't scared of you. But up to you, your discretion. If you just want to hang in the chat, you are more than welcome to do so. If you just want to watch and not chat at all, you are more than welcome. If you just want to sign up to join the show and then kick back and don't join it, you are more than welcome to do so. But I be wanting to see y'all. So thank you guys for being here. I believe the show after this will be Atlanta. We have, I think, 4 more weeks of Euphoria. Wild guess. And then Atlanta starts March 24th. So I'm also on social media, JustLatasha on Instagram, JustLatasha404 on Twitter. And yes, you guys are supporting a Black woman creative who loves talking TV and film, who's a screenwriter, who writes this stuff as well. So what a vibe, huh? See you guys next time. Bye.